What's up, Watershed? David Roberts here, along with Matt O'Neill, and this is another edition of Theological Thursdays at Watershed. If you're not familiar with Theological Thursdays, what we try to do is every week do kind of a deeper dive into something that either stood out or maybe there was questions about in the talk or the message or the sermon from the previous Sunday. What we're doing today, though, is a little different because we are about to kick off a brand new teaching series this Sunday called A Different World is Possible. And the reason Matt's here is because in many ways this was kind of his brainchild, very collaborative effort kind of in our teaching series planning and whatnot, but Matt was the one who kind of brought this to our group, so I roped him in to join me today. So real quick, Matt, tell us a little bit about this upcoming series.
Well, I think there was a dominant framing narrative that existed in the first century when Jesus was trying to announce a different type of kingdom within that particular time frame. And the kingdom that Jesus was announcing was a challenge to the normed narrative of his day. And so before he could begin to kind of bring people along on the journey of what does it look like for the world to be different in the first century, he had to challenge that narrative. He had to figure out what it meant to live differently in the world as that narrative was being challenged. We're going to kind of take a play out of that playbook and start to ask questions about the dominant narrative that we experience. Part of creating a different world is understanding the world we live in right now. And so we're going to spend some time talking about how do we actually understand the reality in which we live, and it's only then can we start to dream differently. So it'll be interesting. We've got a lot of different voices that are going to speak into this, and I'm excited.
Awesome. So here's what we need from all of you. Regardless of whether you're new to Watershed, have just been tuning in the last year during the pandemic, or maybe you're a longtime Watershedder who has been keeping up with our Sunday morning service streams, or maybe you haven't, but regardless, this last year, 2020 into this new year, has been tumultuous in many ways, has kind of been an overturning of the world that was, and many of us are trying to rediscover what the world looks like now, maybe what it hopefully could be or should be in the future. Last year we were privileged to hear from so many different voices during the pandemic, people that we were able to bring in to interview or dialogue with, many of whom have spent a ton of time thinking about what a different kind of world could or should look like. And we want to continue to learn and learn from and listen to those voices, but in many ways, we also need to be continuing to learn from and listen to you, Watershed. And so as we kick off this series this Sunday, what we would love any or all of you to do is to let us know, and there's going to be a form in the comments that you can fill this out. We would love to hear from you, and what could or would a different world look like to you or for you? What do you wish was possible, believe to be possible, or maybe if you even haven't thought that far, what about this world needs to pass away? What needs to kind of go the way of the dinosaur, so to speak? What needs to go extinct so that something new can be born from the ashes? And so our plan for this series is every week, we will kind of reflect on, like I said, and go deeper into the talk from the Sunday prior, but we would love to weave kind of some responses from all of you into that. So please just take a couple minutes, fill out the form that's going to be linked to this video so that we can know what you, Watershed, are hoping for, wishing for, imagining when it comes to a different world that may just be possible today.
Sounds great.
All right. See you soon.